Around the world, governments and institutions have recognized their role in historical injustices and taken action. Some have paid financial compensation. Others have returned stolen land, issued public apologies, or created programs to uplift affected communities. These examples serve as proof that reparations are not impossible. They have been achieved before. The question is, why not for the descendants of enslaved Africans? Germany stands out as one of the most well-known examples of reparations in modern history. After World War II, the German government took responsibility for the atrocities committed against Jewish people during the Holocaust. In an unprecedented move, they paid billions of dollars in reparations to survivors and their families. In the United States, there have been limited but notable examples of reparations as well. The Civil Liberties Act of 1988 granted financial compensation to Japanese Americans who were forced into internment camps during World War II. This law acknowledged that these individuals were unjustly imprisoned and that the government had violated their rights. Yet, for African Americans, promises of reparations have remained just that. Promises? One of the biggest reasons African Americans have been excluded from reparations is the deliberate refusal of the U.S. government to acknowledge its role in slavery as a crime that warrants compensation. Unlike other groups who have received reparations, African Americans were denied justice at every turn. The promise of 40 acres and a mule was revoked by Andrew Johnson, leaving newly freed black families without a fair start. Trapped in poverty, unable to build, keep, or pass down wealth. Reconstruction policies that could have provided economic support were dismantled. Black codes, Jim Crow laws, redlining, and discriminatory lending practices further ensured that Black Americans remained economically disadvantaged. Another reason is the argument that slavery happened too long ago for reparations to be justified. This ignores the fact that the effects of slavery did not end in 1865. Systemic racism continued through segregation, racial violence, housing discrimination, and mass incarceration, creating lasting disparities that still affect Black communities today. The economic, educational, and social barriers imposed on African Americans were not just the result of historical injustices, but of policies that extended well into the 20th century. Unlike Japanese Americans who received reparations, or Jewish Holocaust survivors compensated by Germany, African Americans have been told that addressing slavery is too complicated, too expensive, or politically unfeasible. These excuses have been used to avoid meaningful action, despite the fact that many of the institutions that benefited from slavery, governments, banks, and corporations, still exist and continue to profit from the racial wealth gap it created. Even when efforts for reparations have gained traction, they have often been symbolic, rather than substantive. While some states and cities have issued apologies or formed commissions to study reparations, no widespread, federally funded program has been enacted to compensate descendants of the enslaved. Why? The political resistance remains strong, fueled by those who argue that the U.S. cannot be held responsible for past injustices, even though the consequences of those injustices still shape the lives of white Americans today, to the detriment of Black Americans today. The exclusion of African Americans from reparations is not accidental. It is a calculated decision that maintains economic inequality and denies rightful compensation for generations of unpaid labor. However, history has proven that justice is won through persistence.
That's a wrap, History Seekers. Catch the full story on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.